Hope is the word. Hope is what it's going to take to encourage you in your situation right now. Hope is what it's going to take for you to rise up out of that low place. Hope is what it's going to take for you to defeat that depression. Hope is what it's going to take for you to be able to forgive. Hope is what it's going to take for the pain to subside, for the pain to go away. It is hope. It is hope. What is hope? Hope is a feeling of expectation and desire for a certain thing to happen. So a lot of times when we're going through these situations where we're heartbroken, we're in so much pain, we face certain setbacks, certain losses, and we feel like we can't come back from it. We feel like we can't go on. We feel like we can't go forward. And a lot of the times when we're in those moments, when we're going through those situations, what it is that we're facing and what we're looking at is being hopeless, is feeling hopeless in our situations, not believing that things are going to change, believing that we're always going to be stuck in that situation, not being able to see the brighter side, not being able to see the outcome, not being able to see down the line. All we're able to see is what's directly in front of us. All we're able to look at is the situation. But I am here to encourage you today. Well, whatever your situation is, whatever you're going through, you have to understand first and foremost, that there is an expiration date to your situation. Whatever it is that you might be facing, there is an expiration date to your pain. There is an expiration date to your suffering. There is an expiration date to whatever your situation that you're going through in your life. It is not going to last forever. It is not always going to look like what it looks like right now. At some point, the pain is going to end. At some point, the setbacks are going to end. At some point, the loss is not going to matter anymore. At some point, you're going to rise above whatever the devil tried to defeat you with, whatever the devil tried to throw your way. You're going to understand that God meant it for good, that God used it for your good, and that he is working it out for your benefit. He is working it out for something better in your life. And so first and foremost, before we even talk about this hope, before we even talk about what hope is, what it's going to take for you to have hope, why hope is going to be so important in your situation, in your circumstance, you have to know this. You have to know. I think the best way to explain this is, especially for those that are hurting like right now, or whatever your situation may be, whatever you may be going through, and you just don't see the other side. I just want you to be encouraged by remembering this, putting this in the back of your mind, that each and every one of us has gone through certain things in our lives. Even you, that you're whatever you're facing today, there's been other things that you have gone through in your life, right? And whatever those situations may have been 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 20 years ago, you made it through that situation. Some of those things that happen in your life, you have to think hard about it, because it's not even a factor anymore. It's not even something that's in the back of your mind anymore. You're not even thinking about it, because you went through it. You went through what you had to go through it. You came through it, and now it's a thing of the past. Some of these things that we've gone through, we look back, we'll be like, you have to start thinking about those things and be like, dang, I did go through that, right? That did happen. I forgot that happened. And whatever your situation is today, I guarantee you, if you just have a little trust and hope, that is exactly what the thought is going to be like some time from now. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next year, maybe not 2 years from now, but at some point in time, you're going to be able to look back at whatever it is that you're going through today, and it will be a thing of the past. It will be a thing that has expired. It will, because it has to. This is a season. This is a season that you're going through whatever you're going through. This is a season where you have to learn, where you have to learn the lessons, where you have to go through what you have to go through, but understand that it is not going to last always. And I guarantee, even when you look back, even when you start thinking about those things that you went through, think about, I can remember like when I went through a bad breakup back, this was some years ago, back when I was like still in undergrad, when I was still in college. I went through a very bad breakup, and I lost myself. Like, I really lost myself during that situation. I remember I lost a lot of weight. I remember it was just a very dark time in my life, and I just I remember that the situation, it hurt me so bad to the point where, like, I would be in class, I couldn't even focus. I would be in class, and every time I thought about the situation, I would just start crying. I would just start crying. I would be in my bed just start crying. And I remember that feeling. I remember that feeling. I remember how it felt in while it was happening, in the moment while it was happening. And I remember just thinking, like, I just don't see how this is gonna end. Like, I don't see how this is gonna change for me. I couldn't see that. I couldn't see the other side. I could not see me not crying. I could not see me not having that feeling, not feeling what I was feeling during that time, in those moments when the pain was just so heavy, when the pain was just so tough to endure. I did not see it. I could not see it. It was nothing that I could tell myself. It was nothing that other people could tell me. That's how I felt. And I remember just how, like, just how that stuff made me feel. And then, and I bring this up to say, like, years down the line now, it's like, okay, yes, I remember that stuff. I can even remember the feeling. But when I think about it, even if I try my hardest to go back to that place of pain, I can no longer go back to that place of pain, because that pain has served its time. That pain did what it did. I learned what I learned from that situation, and I moved on. I don't have the same feelings for that situation. I don't have the same feelings for that person that I did. I don't look at that situation like I did then. I was much younger when that happened. That was like my early 20s. I'm 30 now. There's no way for me to bring myself to tears about that situation if I tried, because that is no longer the place that I am in. I no longer look at what was going on then. I no longer look at it like how I was looking at it then. If anything, if I'm able to look back at that situation, I'm able to only look back at it at what God did, what God taught me, what God showed me about myself, what God showed me about why things happened the way it happened. And I'm thankful for that. But let me explain something to you. I bring this up to say that whatever it is that you're going through, you have to think about those things. Think about those things in your past that you overcame. Think about those things in your past that you went through. It hurt you, whatever it may have been, but time went on. You learned what you needed to learn. You went through what you needed to go through, and there is a future. There's a future. A situation that happened in your life 5 years ago, there was a future from that time, and you are living in the future. You have moved past that time. And so that situation no longer bothers you. That situation no longer hurts you. It doesn't do it for you what it did for you then. And that's the number one thing that I want to first use to help you, to encourage you with whatever you're going through. That trouble does not last always. And I know for a fact that there's so many things that you can look at, so many things that you can go back and be like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like, that stuff doesn't even affect you anymore. And so at some point, whatever it is that even right now that you're facing, it will not affect you anymore as time goes on. And so this is why hope is so important. What did we say hope was? Hope is the feeling of expectation or desire for something to happen, right? This is why you have to have hope in whatever it is that you're going through, right? You have to have this expectation. You have to hide this in your heart. You have to know that it is not going to last, that you will make it through whatever it is that you're going through. You have to believe that God is bringing you through whatever it is that you're going through, and he's using it for your good. He's using it for something better. And that at the end of that expiration date, you're not gonna feel like how you're feeling. There is something greater for you. There is something better for you. And you have to rise up. You have to rise up from this place. You have to rise up. You have to have this hope. You have to be crazy enough. You have to be crazy enough to have hope. You have to be crazy enough to believe that there is something better for you. You have to be crazy enough to believe that this was good for you. Whatever it is that you're going through, whatever pain, suffering, that it is good for you that you're going through this. You have to have that hope. You have to have that belief. And so let me explain something. Me as a coach, as a friend, as a family member, whoever I'm talking to, when I'm encouraging others that's going through hard times, heartbreak, grief, whatever the situation may be, me as a coach and as a person that's encouraging my loved ones and you know, God's people, I'm never, when you're going through certain things, I'm not that person that's going to tell you, oh, you need to get up out of this. You can't keep feeling like this. You can't do this. You got to get up out of that. You need to stop. You don't say that you're depressed. I'm not that person that's going to do that, because let me explain something to you. You have to go through those things. You have to cry. You have to grieve. You have to go through the pain, because it is good for you. It is good for you. And to everything, there is a season. To everything, there is a season. I'm never going to look at people like they you know what I'm saying? I'm never going to look at people as like, why are you still holding on to this? Why are you still crying about this? Why? You know what I mean? I always say that it's whatever it takes for you. The crying in your bed all day, if you want to claim depression, feeling sorry for yourself, talking about the situation to anybody that'll listen, whatever it takes, because during that time when you going through whatever you going through, whatever it takes for you in your low moment to make yourself feel better, or whatever it takes for you to go through your grieving process, that's to each his own, and it's different for everybody. And there is nothing wrong with that, because there is a season for everything. And you have to go through your season of grief. You have to go through your season of pain. You have to go through your season of questions, of not understanding, of why you're going through what you're going through. You have to go through that. But I want to share something with you. This is something to help you. I ran across this the other day and I wanted to share it. I wrote it down. I ran across this, and this is just such a good scripture to go with this subject and this topic. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 4, and then I'm skipping over to verse 6. It says, starting at verse 4, it says, a time to cry and a time to laugh, a time to grieve and a time to dance. And then skipping over to verse 6, a time to search and a time to quit searching, a time to keep and a time to throw away. Now, these scriptures that I just laid out is self-explanatory, and exactly the point that I'm making and exactly what I'm saying, that you have to go through your time. There is a time to cry, and then there's going to be a time to laugh. If you're going through something right now, this is your time to cry. This is your time to grieve. But know that at some point, it's not going to be time for tears anymore. It's not going to be time for griefs anymore. It's going to be a time to laugh. It's going to be a time to laugh again. It's going to be a time to dance and to be happy. And I like verse 6 where it says it's time to search. You know, sometimes when we going through our situations, we go through this, we go through a time where we don't understand why what happened to us, why people walked out on us, why people did us how they did us, why our lives is the way it is, why we had to go through certain things. And so we search for these answers. We go back and forth with ourselves. We have these thoughts. We ruminate about certain things over and over again. Why did they say that? Why did they do that? Why did they act like that? Why did it have to be me? Why me? Searching for answers, searching for why my life is this, why my life is that. But I love what it says when it says it's a time to search, but then it's a time to stop searching. It's a time to keep on crying, a time to keep on grieving, a time to keep on talking about it, a time to keep on feeling sorry for yourself. But then it's a time to throw it away. It's a time to throw it away. And the first step in you being able to go through your grief, to go through your tears, to go through your searching, to go through your keeping, the holding on to the resentment, the holding on to the past, to the unforgiveness, is hope. Hope in your situation, hope in your circumstance, hope in knowing that, okay, I've had my season. Or even if I'm currently going through my season, it's okay that I'm currently going through my season. But I have to have hope. I have to have hope in what's to come. I have to have hope in the future. And with hope, you have to understand that with hope comes faith. In order for you to be able to have hope, you have to have faith, because you have to be able to believe in the hope. Because see, it's one thing to have an expectation of something. We can hope for anything. We can hope that our lives will be better. We can hope that we have a good paying job. We can hope that we can be successful. We can hope for all these things. But that hope is nothing. That hope is nothing without a belief behind it, without believing that expectation, believing that desire. So whatever it is that you're going through right now, you have to have some faith to back up that hope. Because that hope is nothing for you to just be hoping, oh, I just hope that my life changes. I just hope that I can get out of this moment that I'm in. But you have to believe that. You have to have hope, and you have to believe that whatever it is that you are, whatever your desire is, whatever that you are seeking, whatever it is that you are searching for, whatever it is that you want on the other side of your situation, of your pain, of your grief, you have to have this faith. You have to believe. You have to, that's why I said you have to be crazy enough to believe. Hope is what it's going to take for you to heal. Hope is what it's going to take for the pain to go away. Hope is what it's going to take for you to rise up out of your slumber, out of your low moment. It is the hope. The Bible says faith is the substance of things what? Hoped for. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. So you have to have faith. You have to believe. You have to believe that God has something better for you. You have to believe that even in your pain, even in your suffering, even in your low moment, that God is using it for something good, that God is using it for something better. And then to take it a step further, the Bible says, for I know the plans that I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you what? Plans to give you hope and a future. Hope is all about future. Hope is all about the expectation of the future things to come, the better things to come, the ahead, not the behind. Focusing on the behind, there's no way for you to have hope. There's no way for you to have faith. You cannot continue to look at what it looks like. You cannot continue to look at what it is that's right in front of you. And that's why I say that you have to go through what you're going through. You got to go through it. You got to go through it. So when you're done going through that, when you're done going through that, you make a conscious effort and you tell yourself, I'm never going to go through this again. I'm never going to be this low again. I'm going to pick myself up. I'm going to have hope. I'm going to have faith. I'm going to believe that God has something better for me. I'm going to believe that God is using this for me. I'm going to believe that there is something better for me in this situation, whatever it may be. Whatever it may be. I don't know. But I know that there is something better. I have hope, and that is pleasing to God. Faith is pleasing to God, because God knows, God knows with our flesh and things of such, God knows how hard it might be to believe in things that we cannot see. Sometimes that's hard for the human mind to understand. Like, how do I believe in this? I don't see it. We go off of sight. We go off of the things that we see. But when it comes to faith, it takes a little bit more of going into the spiritual realm. It takes a little bit more of, like an authentic faith, because without that, you're not able to believe in things that you can't see. So that's why when we have this hope, we have to have some faith to back it up. We have to believe that God is doing what he's doing. We have to believe that there is something better. I thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my other videos to help encourage you. And I love you guys. I will see you in the next video.